how has coronavirus impacted those countries and how have their governments dealt with it? Today's story, I think, is going to be really fascinating because we're going to Greece. We're being joined by Giannis Koutsomitis, political and European affairs analyst based in Athens. Giannis, I've been looking at the Greek figures. You have a total death toll for your country of 151. How can that be compared to the rest of us?
Well, it's a combination of measures, policies, and also of the Greek people's trust in the government. In the initial stages of the pandemic, the half of the cabinet was in favor of having a more relaxed measures rather than going into a complete lockdown. But the Prime Minister listened to the experts and decided that it was better to go for a lockdown despite the consequences on the economy. So,
and given what the Greek economy has been through over the course of the last 10 years, that was a big call. So what date effectively did Greece go into lockdown?
Well, it was the second week of March, and we were hearing news of death toll rising in Italy and Lombardy, and that played a significant role in the mentality of the people. They saw the primetime news and they were afraid that the next target of the pandemic would be Greece. So almost everyone obeyed the instructions of the government, although there were significant risks about having the economy going into a complete lockdown.
Yeah. Well, look, you looked at Italy very carefully, and I think we looked at Italy and blinked a little bit because our lockdown did not come in until the 23rd of March, which perhaps is a reason why infections are so high. And in terms of the administration of the lockdown, was it a complete lockdown? Was it strictly policed? How did it work?
Well, it was, there were 6 ways a person could walk out and do some very, very basic stuff, like going to the supermarket, going to the doctor, maybe visiting some relative who had real need, not just for a visit, and also having a walk and a jog with your dog, but in the perimeter of your house. So it was rather strict.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what was the testing regime like? I mean, Greece's population is what, 12 million, roughly that sort of number? I mean, what was your daily testing figure?
Well, that's a nice question, because Greece is not in the best achievers in testing, although they were very good in tracing. There were the authorities were kept a real log of the people that showed symptoms. They put them in quarantine and they traced down where they got the virus from. So I guess the success, it's not from the quantity of testing, but rather from tracing the log of the contamination.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Well, now you're sort of phase 2, effectively, of the easing of the lockdown. And from what I can hear, high school students have returned. Most shops are open. I mean, what's life like in Athens today compared with 4 or 5 months ago?
Well, it's a completely different picture, because people are out in the parks, out in town squares, young people are gathering. I'm afraid we're not keeping social distancing as good as we have kept that in recent days. And that's a big test for the Greek population. And we're expecting a real severe heat wave in the next 3 days. It will be more than 40 degrees Celsius. So we have to see how the people will react to that. But until now, we've done very well. Now we have to see if we can keep social distancing.
Yeah, so it's an easing, it's an opening up of schools and shops, and you've got a 1.5 meter rule, is that right?
Yes, exactly. And also the authorities are very cautious about the use of masks in public transport, in big stores, in pharmacies, and in the workplace.
Is it compulsory to wear masks?
Yes, yes.
It is.
It's compulsory, yes.
It's compulsory. So if I'm out on a train, in a shop, I've got to wear a mask.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Thank you, Giannis, for joining us and sharing Greece's story. Very,
Welcome.
very interesting indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, bye.